Okay, so as a protocol, we always measure blood pressure first by palpatory and then by auscultatory method. So why does palpatory come first? Because that's why you need to do palpatory first.
To correct the BP.
So palpatory gives you a very rough but accurate measure of BP. Like what is that? What does that mean? So in some cases, some individuals, especially in hypertensives, there is a phenomenon called oscillatory gap, where you might come across a phase where there are no sounds during the whole maneuver of blood pressure. The sounds appear later. Now, which individuals will develop this, that cannot be predicted. So this phenomena is present, and as we cannot predict, so it is better to have a method which gives us a accurate estimate. Right? So palpatory method, the name palpatory comes from the process which relies on palpation of the radial pulse. That's why the name palpatory. And because there is no consideration of any sound in this method, so you can rule out oscillatory gap. So whatever estimate that you get, that is an accurate estimate. You will not have all those things. So palpatory में आपको जितना भी मिला, उसके बाद what you do, you raise the blood pressure around 30 millimeters of mercury more, and then you start gradually releasing it. And during this term, some sounds appear. What are those sounds?
First sound is one, second sound.
The phases, okay. What are the sounds called as? Korotkov sounds. Korotkov sounds. These are caused by turbulence of blood. And as eventually the turbulence becomes laminar, the sounds disappear. So appearance of the sound is the systolic blood pressure, disappearance is the diastolic blood pressure. And in between that phase, where a turbulent blood flow gradually turns laminar, so us daran what is happening? The character of the sounds change, and you have this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Right? Character, sometimes it is louder, sometimes it is musical, sometimes it is muffled. This gradually changes because a turbulent flow gradually becomes laminar. Now today's experiment is about observing the changes in blood pressure in two situations. The first is observing the effect of change of posture from supine to standing. This is one. Second experiment is about observing the effect of exercise. Right? Procedure wise, there is nothing new that you will do. You will measure blood pressure, but in given scenarios. So the pehla experiment, that is the effect of change of posture from supine to standing. So at the outset, you make the patient lie down on the couch, rested for at least 5 minutes, and in the relaxed state, you measure blood pressure by both palpatory and auscultatory method. Right? This is your baseline. After that, without opening the cuff, let the cuff be tied, ask the subject to stand up immediately, and you start measuring the blood pressure. Here you have to be very swift. So as soon as the subject stands, immediately you should start measuring the blood pressure. So this is your recording at 0 minutes. This is followed by one more recording at the end of 1 minute, and then at the end of 2 minutes. So 3 sets of recordings we have in this experiment. In these 3 readings, we rely always on the auscultatory method. Why? Because diastolic BP cannot be recorded by palpatory method. So standing में जो तीनों recordings होंगी, that will be by auscultatory method. So this is the first experiment. Now, do you remember the precautions while BP is measured?
You should be relaxed.
Relaxed. चलो. और कुछ? Tubes, as they come out, they should be medially, right? They should be in line with the brachial artery. And then, of course, whenever you measure, you have to take care that they are not twisted or something, right? So if it passes on like this over the hand, then it doesn't get twisted. But remember, when they come out, when the cuff should be tied in such a way that the tubings should be in line with the brachial artery. Right? That is in the medial aspect. As they come out from the cuff, they should be in line with the brachial pulse. Brachial artery is in the medial aspect of cubital fossa. Clear? Okay. 2 to 3 centimeter above the cubital fossa. Some of you are telling correct. What is the reason? So when you are sitting, right? So all of you are sitting right now. So in this position, if you sit straight 2 to 3 centimeter above the elbow or the cubital fossa, relaxed. This is in line with the right atrium, level of the right atrium or level of the heart. Vertically, if you sit like this or stand like this, here it will be at the level of the heart. So if you sit straight or stand straight, the level of 2 to 5 centimeter above the 2 to 3 centimeter above the cubital fossa is at the same level of the heart. Is this important? Curve should be at the same level of the heart. So that is ensured by this. Supine position mein, is this taken care of as such? If you just lie down like this, so you have to have something below the elbow. Otherwise, what will happen? When you sleep, what happens? The arms lie on the sides. So are they at the level of the heart? No. Right? There is a gap of around 3 to 4 centimeter vertical gap, distance from the heart or the right atrium. The heart is a structure which is anteriorly placed. You have to appreciate this. Right? Just beneath the skin. And arm, if in supine position, so there is this vertical distance. For every centimeter below the level of the heart, the blood pressure is overestimated by 0.77 millimeters of mercury, and for every centimeter above there is a reduction of 0.77 millimeters of mercury. So this is the effect of gravity. Supine position may, if you do not take care of this, you will grossly overestimate blood pressure, right? So you can put a pillow. If you do not have a pillow, you put something, anything else, any form of jugaad. You can put a book, 2 or 3 books, but make sure the arm is not suspended or hanging. So if it should be rested. That is also important. So if you are placing a book or something like that, make sure you are placing it below the entire upper limb. So it should not be suspended or hanging. This also you should take care. Right? So baki procedure is the same. So what changes do you expect? So as soon as you stand straight, supine 7, you jump and stand straight, there is a venous pooling. So why does this happen? Because of gravity. So the great veins of the lower limbs, they can accommodate a certain amount of blood, because veins generally they are called as compliance vessels. They can store significant volumes of blood without much change in their pressure, transmural pressure. So veins, they undergo venous pooling, so around the ankles and the lower limb. So if the venous pooling is less, if there is venous pooling, there is reduced venous return, right? If there is reduced venous return, there is reduced stroke volume. Which law is this? Frank-Starling law. So Frank-Starling law is actually a law of muscle. So it states that force of contraction of a muscle is proportional to the initial length of the muscle within physiological limits. If this law is translated to the heart, the initial length of the muscle before contraction, that means systole se pehle, what is the length of the muscle? So that dimension is actually end diastolic volume. Right? Diastole ke baad hoga systole. So end diastolic volume is a marker for your initial length. End diastolic volume will depend on venous return. Right? So that is how this is translated. Force of contraction will decide stroke volume. The stroke volume multiplied by heart rate. What is this? Cardiac output. Systolic blood pressure is determined by cardiac output. So if you are asked the determinant, this is always cardiac output. Both these factors will determine the systolic blood pressure. For diastolic blood pressure, the determinant is total peripheral resistance. What does this mean? You have learned about the concept of resistance in physics. So when a fluid moves through a column, it undergoes a certain amount of resistance as it flows. So if you imagine this whole circulatory system like that, so this is where it applies. Resistance encountered by the blood as it flows. And total peripheral resistance is again determined by the degree of vasoconstriction or vasodilation. If the blood vessels are constricted, so the flowing blood has to overcome more resistance. So heart has to pump harder so that this resistance can be overcome. And if the vessels are dilated, the resistance is less. So this is the determinants. Okay. So when stroke volume is less, cardiac output is less, systolic blood pressure is less. Now this reduction in systolic blood pressure will cause a reduction in mean arterial pressure. Although less, mean arterial pressure is majorly decided by diastolic. Majorly, but systolic, ऐसा नहीं कि systolic का role है ही नहीं. So systolic, if it reduces the overall, mean will also reduce to a certain extent. Now this fall stimulates the baroreceptors. Why? Baroreceptors are stretch receptors on the walls of the blood vessels. Blood pressure by definition is what? Lateral pressure exerted by the flowing blood on the walls, right? So baroreceptors become active or less active? Less active. See here, when you answer, you have to be mindful. Reduction of systolic blood pressure or mean arterial pressure will activate the baroreflex, but the receptors are actually less activated when the pressure is less, right? So receptors कहाँ पे हैं? Carotid sinus and aortic arch. You have these receptors on the walls. So if the blood pressure is less, there is actually less stretching on the baroreceptors. तो efferent nerves यानी 9th and 10th nerves से जो signals जा रहे हैं, they will be less. So where will the signals go? They will go to the medulla oblongata, where you have a nucleus called as NTS. Let us first understand the circuit here. From NTS, a group of neurons excite one more nucleus called as the CVLM. This is an excitation. CVLM in turn gives some inhibitory projections or inhibitory neurons to RVLM. So this is very important. The one I'm making in black, inhibitory, very, very important. This is where the reversal takes place. Now what is RVLM? RVLM is the deciding factor for central sympathetic outflow. So central sympathetic outflow, you will come across this phrase so many times in physiology, pharmacology, everywhere, right? Sympathetic system को जो control कर रहा है, that is the center, higher up in the brain, which is controlling the sympathetic tone of the body. Sympathetic neurons, where do they arise from? Let us look at this first. So I'm taking a section of the spinal cord at thoracic or lumbar segments. So thoracic and lumbar segments, in addition to the dorsal and ventral horns, they have one extra horn, right? This is called as the intermediolateral horn of the spinal cord. ये सबको पता है, dorsal horn sensory है, ventral horn is motor. But remember, in this segments, thoracic and lumbar segments, there is an extra horn. So this is where the neurons of the sympathetic system arise, sympathetic nervous system. And sympathetic and parasympathetic, दोनों जो autonomic system के parts हैं, they do not reach the effector organs directly. So they have a station in between, the ganglia. For the sympathetic system, the ganglia is on both sides of the vertebral column in the paravertebral gutters. Right from here till here, a long chain, sympathetic ganglionic chain, it is called as that. So preganglionic neurons, the origin here, and then they end where? In the ganglion. From there, postganglionic neurons arise and they reach the various effector organs of the body. Yes, सारे organs के लिए true है. We will confine our discussion to the ones important for discussion of CVS. So the heart, left ventricle. So we'll talk about the blood vessels. It is important for CVS point of view. And the third one that is there is adrenal medulla. Right? So when the sympathetic outflow, this is how it is being controlled. So when the sympathetic outflow increases, so there is an increase in the sympathetic activity of all these organs. Okay, एक और nucleus यहाँ पे, that is the centers for vagus. Here you have a nuclei here, the dorsal motor nucleus of vagus on both sides. So they are also excited directly. So these things happen concurrently. Vagus, parasympathetic fibers arising from here, carried by the vagus nerve, eventually they reach the heart. Ganglia here and then they reach the heart. Parasympathetic system के लिए ganglia is present close to the effector organs, sometimes within the wall of the effector organs. So ganglia में there is a difference here. Nevertheless, vagus is not supplying the blood vessels. Remember, parasympathetic system is not supplying the blood vessels. It is not supplying the medulla. It is supplying only the heart. So vagus, if it is stimulated, the effect is only on heart rate. So now, knowing all of this, let us see what is happening in the experiment. So as soon as you stand by all of this, systolic blood pressure falls, stretch on the baroreceptors is less. That means the receptors are less active now. जो firing level था उनका वो अभी कम fire कर रहा है. And the nerve traffic through the 9th and 10th nerve, the impulses per second will reduce. जितना resting state में था, it will be lesser than that. A reduced nerve traffic in the 9th and 10th nerves means a reduced activation or reduced activity in NTS. Try to join the dots. Reduced activity in the nerve means reduced activity of NTS. If NTS is less active, it will stimulate CVLM less. If CVLM is less active, RVLM को जो वो inhibit कर रहा था, that will not happen now. So RVLM escapes from the inhibitory effect of CVLM now. Why? Because CVLM come active abhi. So as a result of this, what will happen? RVLM activity will increase, so you will have a higher activity in the sympathetic system. So sympathetic effects will be there. So what will happen in the heart? The heart rate will increase. So if you measure the pulse will be slightly higher. Stroke volume will increase. Both of this will result in increase in cardiac output. And ultimately, cardiac output अगर बढ़ रहा है तो systolic blood pressure will also increase. So remember, this will increase back to normal. Increase का मतलब ये नहीं कि it will shoot up. So these are all homeostatic mechanisms. Homeostatic mechanisms by default mean they will eventually bring all the changes and disturbances back towards normal. Increase will not shoot up. That also you should remember. Okay. Other effects are also there, but main effects are this. What will happen in the blood vessels? There is sympathetic tone jitna tha, that will increase. So there is vasoconstriction. Total peripheral resistance will increase. So diastolic BP will also slightly increase. Fine. This is what is expected. Same if you think about this, NTS से जो projections Vegas में जा रहे हैं, that will also be less. The effect of Vegas is also less in this situation. So that also contributes to the increase in heart rate. Why is activity less here? Because NTS में activity कम है, right? So this is the first experiment. So how you should write this in your manuals? So first thing is, what are the objectives? So objective of the experiment is to observe the effect of change of posture from supine to standing position on blood pressure. This is your objective. Then you mention the particulars of the subject. Whoever is your subject, name, age and sex. And then you make a table like this. So first will be your baseline. Baseline means in supine position. You can mention supine posture. So you measure the blood pressure and measure the pulse rate also. Here, palpatory and auscultatory both. Palpatory method will not give you a diastolic value. So this will be absent. Now let's say we take as an example, I am telling you. Let's say we have got a blood pressure of 106 millimeters of mercury by palpatory method and auscultatory value of, let's say, 112 millimeters of mercury upon, say, 72 millimeters of mercury, and a pulse rate of around 84 beats per minute as an example. So next what you do is the subject stands straight and then you measure standing position में what is the blood pressure, standing posture. So this should be measured at 0 minutes, at the end of 1 minute, at the end of 2 minutes. So what do you expect? 0 minute mein, as soon as you stand, you try to recall the discussion that we had. There is a fall in systolic blood pressure, right? Because of venous pooling. So it could be around, say, 106 or 104 millimeters of mercury. Diastolic में 0 minute में कुछ change नहीं हो रहा है, right? So diastolic could be almost the same. You could always get an observer variation of 2 to 4 millimeters of mercury, but generally it will be around the same. So let's say 70 millimeters of mercury, and the pulse rate also doesn't get affected. So 84 beats per minute. Now baroreceptor reflex comes into action. It starts correcting, and in this process, what will happen? Say it starts correcting. Say you might get a 108 तक पहुंच गया वो correction. Try to recall also that diastolic also increases. So as the reflex is active, this could also slightly increase. Pulse rate will also increase to a slight extent. This and this should always tally, right? Baseline से थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा हो रहा है. And by the end of 2 minutes, you expect that it should be around the baseline or supine values. This is what is expected. You have to do it, of course, but I'm giving you an example of what usually happens. Fine? Okay. Next experiment is about effect of exercise. So, करना है ना, ये लिखना थोड़ी है. This example है. You have to do it and write. Okay. So exercise way, your first thing is, here you take the values in sitting posture, both pre-exercise and post-exercise, all of them in sitting posture. Pre-exercise blood pressure recordings, you record with all precautions that you mentioned. Also measure the pulse rate, right? After that, you ask the subject to exercise for some time, and then you record the things again, right? Blood pressure recordings by auscultatory method, then pulse rate, very, very important. So in this experiment, the recordings should be done at 0 minute, 2 minutes and 5 minutes. So effect of exercise is most pronounced in the immediate post-exercise period, 0 minute. Gradually with time, the effect of exercise is restored back to normal or pre-exercise or resting values. What exercise should you perform? So that is one question. So there are some standardized protocols are there. So one way of testing is, now we need a subject. Who will be the subject? Just a demo of what is. There are 2-3 very simple ways of exercise which are standard and accepted ways. Right? People could also ask कि हम लोग push up करके कर ले, but pull up करके कर ले, but not this. Right? You will of course get some changes, but those things are not standardized. Right? That is the reason. So first exercise that you could ask the subject to do is spot hopping. उछलना है एक जगह पे. हाँ, यही उछल. दोनों कदमों से उछलो. Right. उछलते रहना है. So how much distance should be there from the ground? So exam में you have to take care. Examiner जो है उसको ध्यान देना है कि subject is jumping at least 1 foot above the ground. So that means 1 foot is approximately 12 inches. So this you should ensure कि at least 1 foot above the ground. The other way of exercise is spot jogging. Jogging कौन करेगा? बुलाओ किसको? मतलब एक आता, one of you, anyone. So you choose anyone, right? But you have to do it nicely. That is important. Or an important point, I'm just telling you. Let you have a demo first. Jogging, spot jogging. ध्यान ये देना है सर. Now get back serious. So इन्होंने भी मना कर दिया, नहीं होगा. So whenever you do jogging, तो hopping में हमने ये कहा कि it should be around minimum 1 foot above the ground. Jogging में before you start, you should place your hands like this, parallel to the ground. करो. यहाँ पे आ जाओ. And then knees should be touching every time you do. You have to jog every time. The knees should. Yes, correct. Very good. This is the correct way of doing, right? Now, one important precaution here that you have to remember. It may happen initially. Examiner is very enthusiastic, subject is very enthusiastic. Starting में बहुत जोरों से और exercise, but gradually it becomes less. So then the effects will not be good. So you have to make sure जितना भी duration करें, that has to be uniform. Say if you could ask the subject to do for say 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or till exhaustion, right? Make sure you are providing some type of time cue कि uniform रहे वो. So examiner can do one small thing. At every 2 seconds, you could make a tap sound. That subject knows when to jump. हर 2 सेकंड में ऐसा आवाज करो. Subject will know at what frequency the subject should be hopping or jogging. And उसके लिए all of you should have a watch. So I want to see how many of you don't have a wristwatch. है? किसका है ये? How many of you don't? Why? So many times I have been telling you. Next week से सबको carry करना. You should have a wristwatch. Okay, one more apparatus that you will get in the lab. You will get a step. So there is another form of exercise testing called as Harvard step test or two-step test. Step test में you have to jump up the step and come down. That has to be done again uniformly. So I'll show when you start doing. I'll show those of who you are interested. You can do that also. ठीक है? So any one of the exercise methods you follow, but उसके बाद का procedure same है. 0 minute पे एक recording लेना है, एक 2 minutes पे, एक 5 minutes पे. What is the importance of the pulse rate? Pulse rate will help us to grade the severity of exercise. So this is a very very important thing. Immediately जो आपका pulse rate मिल रहा है after exercise, that grades the exercise severity. How? If after exercise your pulse rate is up to 100 beats per minute, that is mild exercise. 101 to 125 beats per minute, that is moderate exercise. 126 to 150 severe. More than 150 beats per minute is very severe. For every grade of exercise, expected changes are different. तो ऐसा लगता है कि systolic will also increase, diastolic will also increase, but it's not like that. Right? Systolic will increase proportionately. Mild है तो mild increase, moderate है तो moderate increase, severe है तो severe increase, marked increase. But diastolic में the pattern is very different. Let us see the mechanisms first. So as soon as you start exercising, the sympathetic system of the body is active. Right? Any form of stress will activate the sympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic system, if it is activated, what happens? Cardiac output increases, and systolic blood pressure will increase. So first I am enumerating the factors or mechanisms which increase the systolic blood pressure. So as a result of sympathetic activity, this is the first thing that is there. Sympathetic nervous system. Second thing is catecholamines. So as you exercise, sympathetic system also causes release of catecholamines from the adrenal medulla, epinephrine and norepinephrine. Although the effects are similar, but the effects are also synergistic. You also have to remember this. When I'm talking of catecholamines, as though these are hormones which are, or transmitters, chemicals which are released, they travel through the bloodstream and then they eventually reach the heart and the blood vessels where there are adrenergic receptors. So effects एक जैसे हैं, but these are also synergistic, additive effect. Catecholamines के बाद you talk of, let's say, anticipatory tachycardia. Important mechanism. As soon as you think of starting exercise, even before you start exercising, there is the thought of exercise causes some sort of cortical activation and the heart rate increases. The heart rate अगर increase हो रहा है तो systolic blood pressure will increase. Anticipatory tachycardia. Okay. Next important aspect is, or factor is, somatosympathetic reflex, which is caused by the movement of the body. Proprioceptive input. So when you're exercising, receptors in the joints, muscles, as they move, so these receptors also get activated. So information about this movement are detected by the receptors, and they eventually, through the ascending pathways, sensory pathways, they first reach the spinal cord and they ascend up to the brain. As they ascend up to the brain, they give some collateral branches to the reticular formation. Medulla mein they give some collateral branches. This is also the site where all these centers that we discussed, RVLM, NTS, ये सब वहीं पे है. Right? So this effect is called as somatosympathetic effect or somatosympathetic reflex. Somatic movement causing an increase in the activity of the CVS. Thermogenic effect on the SA node. Say for fever, what happens during fever? For every 1 degree rise in temperature, the pulse rate increases by 10 to 14 beats per minute. So this is the effect of temperature. Temperature increases the firing of the SA node to this extent. When you exercise, what happens to the heat content of your body? Exercise endothermic process or exothermic? Exothermic. Heat is produced. So this heat, it pulls up in the core of the body. The core temperature of the body rises, right? And because of this temperature effect, the SA node activity increases. So pulse rate will increase. So if pulse rate increases, systolic blood pressure will also follow. Because cardiac output दोनों का product है, heart rate as well as stroke volume. Okay. There is one more thing, Bainbridge effect. Bainbridge, remember, not brain bridge. What is that? So when there is a greater blood volume returning to the heart in the right side, that means right atrium में अगर venous filling ज़्यादा है या blood volume ज़्यादा right side में, this causes an increase in the heart rate, right? So this effect is called as Bainbridge effect. Exercise में, because the circulation is hyperdynamic, it is faster and more vigorous. So this effect is also seen. So all these factors increase the systolic blood pressure. So mild है तो effects will be mild. Severe है तो proportionally all these things will increase. Now what happens to the diastolic? Here the changes are a bit different. Diastolic is affected by two types of forces. First is a vasoconstricting force. अगर ये ज़्यादा dominant रहा, diastolic will increase. The other is a vasodilating force. If this is dominant, the blood pressure will fall. Sympathetic activity say, you remember sympathetic blood vessels also, nerves also supply the blood vessels. So sympathetic activity, this is a vasoconstricting force. This increases the diastolic blood pressure. Mild exercise में सिर्फ यही फैक्टर है. So what do you see in mild exercise? Systolic and diastolic both increase. Gradually as the severity of exercise increases, next what happens? Tissue में क्या produce होगा? Carbon dioxide, right? Suppose the severity is going on increasing. So at one point, supply and demand will not be at par. So metabolism will turn to anaerobic. Anaerobic metabolism में lactic acid will be produced. So lactic acid, carbon dioxide, lactate के जो products है, lactate anion and the H plus ion, each of this is a vasodilator. So these things will become important only when the severity increases. So local metabolites like carbon dioxide, H plus ions, lactate, these are all vasodilators. What more happens? जितना ज़्यादा होगा एक severity, catecholamines from the adrenal medulla will also increase. So epinephrine becomes an important player now. Although same set of chemicals are released in the sympathetic terminals and also in the this one medulla, adrenal medulla, but there is a difference in the amount. When we talk of sympathetic nervous system, इसके जो endings हैं, norepinephrine is more than epinephrine. But when you talk of the same chemicals as catecholamines or hormones from the medulla, epinephrine is more than norepinephrine. ठीक है. Epinephrine has an affinity for the beta receptors. Norepinephrine has an affinity for the alpha receptors. So जितना ज़्यादा epinephrine आएगा blood stream में, this epinephrine will act on the beta 2 receptor on the blood vessel. So epinephrine acting on beta 2. So this causes smooth muscle relaxation. Very very important point. Smooth muscle relaxation. Blood vessels में जो smooth muscles हैं, they will be relaxed. So this will cause vasodilation. Contrary to what most people have a perception, कि epinephrine will always cause constriction. It is not like that. This will cause dilation. Epinephrine and beta 2 interaction. And the third, cutaneous vasodilation. To dissipate temperature. So as you exercise more heat will be generated. So now heat जब बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, at that time life saving mechanisms take a upper hand. So body has to lose the extra heat. Forget about the adjustment of CVS कि थोड़ा और बढ़ाना है and all that. Whenever the body faces this type of situations, the ones which are more life saving at that instant, that take an upper hand. So temperature has to be lost when it is, so severe exercise when this happens. So what happens is core से periphery तक the heat is lost in the form of convection currents. Heat के तो 2-3 mechanisms ही है, conduction, convection, radiation. So when there is a vasodilation, blood supply from the core to the periphery increases. As this blood flow increases, तो ये अपने साथ कुछ amount of heat it carries away from the core, convection current. So, but in this process, because there is widespread vasodilation, diastolic blood pressure falls. So what do we see in this? That systolic में तो it was one directly proportional relationship था. Diastolic में mild exercise में there is a mild increase in diastolic. Moderate exercise में it is almost balanced क्योंकि vasoconstricting and vasodilating forces balanced out. So you will not get any change if you have done a moderate grade of exercise. Severe grade of exercise में diastolic will fall. This is a very important difference. So how should you write in your manuals? So objective is what? To observe the effect of exercise on blood pressure. Then you mention about the particulars of the subject, name, age, sex, similarly. So after that you make a table. Now this time, resting state, systolic blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure and pulse rate, right? Auscultatory and, palpatory and auscultatory. Post exercise, you should again have 3 readings. So after exercise, 0 minute, 2 minute and 5 minute. 3 sets of readings should be there. This pulse rate that you will get, suppose at the resting state the pulse rate was 68 beats per minute. After exercise, 0 minute में आपको मिला कि the pulse rate is 128 beats per minute. So what is the grade of exercise or severity of exercise performed with the subject? Moderate shear, severe होगा ये, right? So I'm high. So this also you have to mention grade of exercise. All right, done. Any confusion? No. So now you can go to the labs.